Okay, in this tutorial we're going to cover some more basic asset management, managing your stills, your images, your video, etc. in your project panel, in this panel here, right, where we organize all our stuff. And then we're going to get into using motion effects to create double boxes, triple boxes, quadruple boxes, and beyond that. So first off, I'm going to go ahead and open up my nature folder with my stills. And I've already created a sequence, and the sequence is a 1920 by 1080. I can do that, confirm again by checking main menu sequence settings. Open that up, and I can see here I'm at 1080p, and I can see down here that it's showing me my actual image dimensions, the setting for the sequence. So I just click OK there, just confirm that. All right, moving my playhead back to the top. Now, what I want to highlight real quick is that in addition to sorting and organizing your clips here via the video information, we saw how we could move these columns around in a previous tutorial, and you can see the resolutions of the different images. You can also identify and group them with these colors on the left. So this is just a simple thing. The default right here is mainly lavender, but as you can see here, I've identified 4 clips that all have the same resolution, 1600 by 1200, and I colored them mango. That's the official name of that color. And so here's how you do that. It's real simple. We're going to first do the first quick exercise using 2 clips here that are both 1920. Hang on, I'm looking for the 1920 by 1080. Here we go. Here's a 1920 by 1080, and here's a 1920 by 1080. So these are 2 clips that actually match our sequence settings right now. We're going to use those for the first part of the exercise. So I'm going to actually highlight, I'm going to click on one, hit Control, and hit the other right on the box. And I can right click right here in the area of the boxes. And I get my drop down, and I come down all the way down to Label. And there I get an assortment of colors that I can select to identify those clips with. I'm going to go ahead and go with blue so it doesn't look too much like the other ones. And sure enough, oops, cancel that, sorry. And it identifies those clips as blue. So if I just want to do one, I can always just click on that one label, and I can, of course, change it. If I wanted to make that one yellow, there you go. Okay, so now I can actually go up to the top and click in that upper left-hand corner of the project panel. There's actually a little separate column there, and then I can sort them based on the color. All right, so that one's yellow. I'm going to change that because that's a little confusing. It looks too much like mango. Let's go with just make it purple or something. There we go. Okay, so you can see that you can sort. So that's a nice little trick. So now let's go ahead and show you how to stack up a couple of images in one screen. So let's open that up. Here we go. This is a river morning. So I'm going to grab that, drop it down to 1. Again, if you drag it down and your clip is really looks very small like that in the display, just hit your plus key. Just magnify that. Okay, so you can see it a little bigger. The next one is the other 1920 by 1080 is this beautiful sunset. So I'm going to drag that down. Now notice this is actually pretty cool. And believe it or not, yes, your professor does not know everything. I just realized that by changing the color here, it changes the color of the clip in the timeline. So it allows you to kind of keep that reference, which I think is really smart. Adobe's very smart. Okay, so now we're going to we want to see both of these layers, both of these images at the same time. So I'm going to click on the top one. I'm going to select that, open up my effect controls, because this is what you're going to do a lot of. Select, and then open it up, and then select the clip, open effect control so you can see your keyframes, etc. Okay, position your playhead at the very beginning. Oops, let's go back. I just collapsed that little window right here. I'm going to open it back up. Okay, and for now we'll just do position and scale at the very beginning. And I'm going to set scale to 50. Okay, enter. Of course, it scales it down by 50%. So now you can see the layer below it. Now hit your transform tool, right? And I'm going to click and drag and move it and position it wherever you want it. So, and go ahead and take it all the way to the edge of the video screen. Okay, even though I know that here this is video safe for TV, but think TV and then beyond, think also not online, desktop, etc. So you want to use the full frame here. And you notice at 50% it cuts off pretty much right in the middle of the frame. Okay, now I'm going to come down here. So now click on that layer again and right click on it on that top layer that you just scaled down to 50 and hit copy. Then come down to the bottom layer, and you're going to see this happen because you see the effect controls. You're already in the effect controls. As long as you leave that window open, whatever layer you click on, you're looking at it. So now right click on that bottom layer and hit paste attributes. That opens up the paste attributes dialog box. And here you can copy and paste keyframes, properties from different clips onto another. Right now we're just doing motion, so it already has that check. That's good. Don't adjust anything else. Just click OK. And OK, what it did is it scaled that lower clip down, and it's now actually sitting below the sunset over here on the right. So it looks like it went away, but actually didn't. So leave it there. Click your transform tool again. So essentially rinse and repeat. And now it looks like you're highlighting the sunset shot, but you're actually highlighting the layer below it. Remember that you see it highlighted down here in the timeline. You see it selected. And you can also read that it's listed right up here. So now grab that and drag it, and sure enough, it appears from below, and position it to the right. And if you're doing it, you can do it by hand, and if it doesn't line up perfectly, use your up-down arrow keys, right? And you can scooch it and get it right in. Hit enter, and actually just click here. Here you go. Click there to release those keyframes. And so now you have a double box. Okay, so from there you could do, once you set that up, then you can now do a move, and you can make these images come into frame, time it out to your music, transitioning out of another series of clips. So you could set a key for, say, hit the top one, and let's say drag your mouse about halfway through, add your keyframes. Don't change the values, because what you're using is the current position. So you find your end position just like you did on previous projects. Go back to the first position, save there real quick, turn on your transform tool and drag that. I would go ahead now and use your scroll it here, because if you move it, it might not be even. So scroll it across. That's the X. I'm going to do a Control Z. Here's your Y. So now just drag it off screen. Okay. And just push that off until it's all the way off screen, right about there. Okay. And now click on the bottom layer. Okay. And actually, no, go back. Sorry. Click on that top layer again. Jump to those keyframes. So we're using them as reference now, like we've done before. Okay. Leave it there. Click on the bottom layer. Add the keyframes. So basically, those keyframes will be set exactly at the same time. At the same time, at the same place in time as the top layer. Now jump back to your first one. Again, we're affecting this clip now, this cloud lake thing. Okay, and we're going to hit our transform tool and push that off to the right. Right? So take that off screen, and by scrolling it up here with the value, there you go, just off screen. By using instead of moving it physically, by scrolling it off, you get a nice even line. You don't accidentally move it up and down with your hand. Now play that back, and they're both going to come in off screen, and they're going to meet. So essentially, it's just like the techniques you did with editing text and titles and objects in typography exercises and projects, but now you're just using still images. So, what it does is it allows you a way to control and include more images on the frame at the same time. You're using your narrative space there. On the next tutorial, we'll working with more images and a little bit more scaling, and working with like quad boxes and such.